Here are the cast members and the characters they play. Nutanica Dongwadnowicz, Nicha. As Pawini. A bold, lively woman. Believing that her late sister Srikanda's death was due to mistreatment by her mother-in-law, she sets out to uncover the truth and seek revenge for her sister. To unravel the truth behind her sister's death, she persuades her brother-in-law, Napanai, to marry her. She and Napanai strike a deal. Once she successfully exposes his mother's true nature, they will divorce, allowing her to care for his little son, as entrusted by her late sister, Srikanda. Upon marrying him and moving into his residence, she begins her endeavors and her war with his mother Madame Nguyen. A witty and crafty woman, she provokes her mother-in-law, Madame Nguyen, with smiles and teasing, while plotting to reveal her unfavorable character. Despite assuring herself and promising her father that she would never fall in love with Napanai, she eventually gives in to her emotions and finds herself falling in love with him. She eventually comes to realization that she may have been too quick to accuse Madame Nguyen for her sister's death. Despite her willingness to mend things with Madame Nguyen out of concern for her father's health and her affection for Napanai, she finds herself persistently confronted by Madame Nguyen's animosity. Nawash Phupantachsi. Pan. As Napanai. Son of a wealthy businesswoman, Madame Nguyen. Working offshore as an engineer and seldom at home, he is unaware that his wife, Srikanda, is enduring mistreatment from his mother. Following his wife's death, although he acknowledges that his mother may not be the best mother-in-law, he is not convinced that she was cruel enough to mistreat his wife. He agrees to his sister-in-law, Pawini's suggestion that they get married because he hopes it will give her the opportunity to understand his mother better, thereby changing her negative perception of his mother. Initially marrying Pawini out of mutual objectives, he soon finds himself gradually developing feelings for her. After confessing his love for Pawini to his mother, despite her objections, he works to reconcile them. At the same time, he endeavors to convince Pawini, who also loves him but is hesitant to have a relationship with him due to her belief in his mother's connection to the demise of her sister. As he gradually becomes aware of his mother's true nature, doing things he has never expected, he maintains a diplomatic approach in dealing with her, yet still provoking her anger. Although disappointed with his mother, he has no qualms about saving her when she is caught in vulnerable situations. Butsakorn Wampwapan. As Madame Nguyen. A successful business consultant. She is a socialite, stingy, and disdainful woman whose mistreatment of her daughter-in-law, Srikanda, whom she dislikes, indirectly and unintentionally leads to Srikanda's death. Her action ignites the fury of Srikanda's father and sister, Pawini, who hold vengeance against her. Her hostility towards Pawini intensifies when Pawini, known for her outspokenness and fearlessness, shocks her by marrying her son, Napanai, and moving into her residence. This marks the beginning of a series of clashes with Pawini, who has many plans and tricks up her sleeve. While executing various plans to thwart Pawini from brainwashing her son, Napanai, into believing that she is a cruel woman, she finds the witty Pawini is not an easy person to handle. Meanwhile, her insensitivity towards her children's feelings begins to strain their mother-child relationships. In her haste to triumph over Pawini and separate her from her son Napanai, despite Pawini's willingness to reconcile, she unexpectedly becomes embroiled in crimes she did not commit. This not only causes her to lose the trust of her children but also puts her life in danger. Pichapa Phantomchinda. Pair. As Netdao. Napanai's sister. She does not work and leads a carefree life. Despite siding with her mother against her sister-in-law, Srikanda, and later Pawini, she is not highly regarded by her mother. She falls in love with Trai, an odd-job worker at her residence, irking her mother, who vehemently opposes their relationship. It is only then that she realizes how her brother must have felt when she, alongside her mother, opposed his relationship with his late wife and now with Pawini. As she observes the true nature of her mother, who is willing to do anything to break up her relationship with Trai, she begins to see Pawini's positively. She eventually decides to cooperate with Pawini to confront her mother, not aggressively, but rather to help Madame Nguyen see the value in others and develop a better understanding of their emotions. Finally finding her true love in Tri, she is willing to sacrifice her affluent lifestyle for love. Paswich Bunrananat. Smith. As Tri. Napanai's good friend. He is the nephew of a servant at Madame Nguyen's residence and works as an odd job worker there upon losing his job elsewhere. He and Napanai shares a close bond and are supportive of each other, with him often assisting Napanai in managing the feud between Pawini and his mother, Madame Nguyen. At first, his relationship with Napanai's sister, Netdao, is solely for monetary, as she seeks his favors in exchange for money. His kindness and concern for Netdao unintentionally attract her affection, as she believes he likes her while she is drawn to his charm. He holds no affection for Netdao, being aware of his own poor background in contrast to her affluent one. However, he starts to feel moved by Netdao's affection towards him and begins to develop feelings for her as he witnesses her willingness to defy her mother, Madame Nguyen, in order to support him. Thakun Karntip. As Thamtoi runs his own business. He is one of Pawini's best friends who secretly admires her but has never had the courage to express his feelings to her. It is only when Pawini marries Napanai that he regrets not making his feelings known to her earlier. When he learns that Pawini's marriage to Napanai is not based on love but rather a contract, he is remotivated to win her affection. He finds support from Pawini's father, who has consistently opposed her union with Napanai and wants him to prevent Pawini from falling in love with Napanai. At the same time, he captures the interest of Lalita, the daughter of his business partner, who is immediately drawn to him upon their first meeting. However, due to his dedication to winning Pawini's heart, he remains oblivious to Lalita's feelings for him and his own growing affection towards Lalita. Amaran Nidiban. As Panit, father of Pawini and Srikanda. An impulsive and a strict father, he is equally outraged as his daughter, Pawini, upon learning that his elder daughter, Srikanda, who married Napanai, was mistreated by her mother-in-law, Madame Nguyen, indirectly resulting in her eventual death. He reluctantly agrees to Pawini's marriage to Napanai upon learning of its purpose. Unable to come to terms with his daughters marrying the same man, he frets over the possibility of Pawini falling in love with Napanai, whom he acknowledges as a good and handsome guy. Expecting Pawini's forthcoming divorce from Napanai, he urges her close friend, Thamtawi, who harbors feelings for her, to actively pursue her to prevent her from falling in love with Napanai. Unbeknownst to him, his poor health has prompted Pawini to contemplate breaking up with Napanai in order not to worry him. Lorena Shuat. As Lalita. Her father, who is Madame Nguyen's business partner, insists on matching her with Napanai despite the fact that she harbors no feelings towards him. Her adherence to her father's desires is tested when she falls in love at first sight with Thamtawi, who is her father's business associate. Chartahio Dome. Hiranayatithi. As Singkorn. Lalita's father and Madame Nguyen business partner. As the former assistant of Madame Nguyen's late husband, his relationship with her is not based on trust but on mutual business benefits. In an effort to solidify his relationship with Madame Nguyen, he endeavors to set up a match between his daughter, Lalita, and Madame Nguyen's son, Napanai. Fundi Junyatanakran. As Tom. Madame Nguyen's loyal personal assistant. Sipatai Shantasiriwat. Juju. As Joy. Pawini's neighbor and cheerful good friend who considers her late boyfriend's mother as her mother-in-law. Pawina Sharifsakul. As Orn. Joy's mother-in-law, Pawini's neighbor. Ranglawan Thona Hongsa. As Jai. Servant at Madame Nguyen's residence. Arusari Puwane. As Herb. Servant at Madame Nguyen's residence, Aunt of Tri. Thanathorn Kittysap. As pawn. Servant cum driver at Madame Nguyen's residence, husband of herb. Kanungpim Thana Pichicorn. As dao. Servant cum babysitter at Madame Nguyen's residence. Jakadui Ratanatata. Danaya. As Sampit. Servant at Madame Nguyen's residence who often stands on Madame Nguyen's side. Nathada Fitak Wurarat. As Tang. Servant at Madame Nguyen's residence who often stands on Madame Nguyen's side. Nanthasai Visaliaputra. As Tin. A conman who threatens and extorts money from Madame Nguyen. Athichanan Sriservak. Ice. As Srikanda. Napanai's wife, sister of Pawini who was mistreated by her mother-in-law, Madame Nguyen. Thiparat Amatayakul. Luktarn. As Jubjing. Tri's ex-girlfriend. Denai Jarajinda. As Adisorn. Madame Nguyen's ex-business partner. Penpech Benyakul. As Krit. Madame Nguyen's late husband. Surabadan Sambakaroan. Rocky. As Ki. Napanai's friend and business partner. Chanasak Sutha Pintu. Takeshi. As Vari. Napanai's offshore friend and co-worker. Pirawit Tirawat. As Nick. Napanai's son. Credit to Thai Channel 3. Thank you for watching.